Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rob. Hope you're all having a great day today. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you would please type the number one in the questions box, let me know that you can. I would greatly appreciate it. All right. Thank you, Cindy. Very good. Rome, good to see you, sir. Hey, Charles, glad you made it. No more wheels flying off planes anywhere, Charles? We're all safe right now? Very good. None today. Okay, good. um, yeah, Robert, just family stuff. Robert said what happened last week at Power Hour. It's all the stuff between my dad and my father-in-law. My dad, is homebound down in Florida, and the person that's taking care of him now has to go in for an operation that will put her out of commission for a month and a half, 2 months. So I'm scrambling right now trying to find what to do for him as far as medical plans, home health coverage, all that good stuff. So actually, I may need to take a call somewhere in the middle here today from a doctor's office there. So if I do, I'll just kind of mute you guys for a couple of minutes, take that, and jump right back in. So, yep, everything's good, Kevin. I appreciate it. Thank you. Very cool. All right. Hey, Brenda, how you doing, dear? Yeah, I missed me too. I love doing these classes. So, hey, Larry, that's excellent. Larry said my retirement date is this Friday. Congrats, baby. Congrats. Hey, Robert, I appreciate that. Morning, Robbie, or afternoon, depending on where you are. Brenda said hers is Thursday. There you go. Look at that. We got people retiring all over the place. On the 30th. Good for you. Yeah, you're getting both of you guys, Larry, Brenda, both of you getting a lot of congrats from the group. So very much appreciate when you guys do that type of stuff. Ah, yeah, Robert, you're right. Yep, cool. All right, so guys, Monster Market Move is coming up on the 30th, which is next week. Brenda, your retirement date. Great time to get started on Monster Market Moves if you're not already in there. Trading You Academy on May 21st, 8 to 9 p.m. When is that going to be? Tomorrow, right? So guys, make sure you come in and check it out. Yeah. Oh, Robbie, you cracked me up. Robbie said, I'll be retiring in 480 months. There you go, Charleston. I'm proud of you guys for retiring. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. We've got power hours on Monday, of course. Monday evenings tonight, we have E-Mini Think Tank, the Trader Talk, and Power Option Plays on Tuesdays and Sundays. We are just shy of $500,000 this year. So my question to you, if you're not making $500,000 so far this year, why are you not in Power Hour? If you're not, why are you not in Power Hour learning how to do exactly what it is that we do in there, right? I'll share a little bit of the numbers with you guys in a bit, right? There you go, Judy. Here is the followers page, guys. Again, I just spent a little bit of time with Sean on the phone this morning, tweaking our plan. We're building up the momentum in the office. Hey, guys, this is the call I was talking about. Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to hit mute. Amelia, just keep your eye on that for everybody. If All right, guys, so sorry about that. We didn't have much choice how to take it. So Sean and I are working on this plan now, guys. We've actually got software now to help us lay out the exact dates and times and all the stuff of when things are going to start going out. We've got certain types of stories we're sending out. All of this to say, make sure that you start following us on the various formats. I can tell you right now, YouTube will be our #1 format that we focus on, and then Instagram will be #2 behind that. So you got it, Trey. Well, you got it. Family is important. That's why I do what I do, guys. That's why you should want to be able to do what I do, is that you can be able to do what you want to and what you need, more importantly, what you need to do in life, right? Instead of that JOB, right? For how many more months, Robbie? Was it 480 months or something you put in there? 480 more months, right? Oh, goodness gracious. I can't even think like that. All right. So, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening in the market right now. So I sent a tweet out this morning. If you did not catch it, we had the S&P, the ES, which is the futures, were sitting right down. I drew a mini. Let me fix that. I drew a mini Fibonacci. So you've got this bigger fib drawn in here, right? And I drew a mini Fibonacci from this high on the 1st down to the low on the 14th, right? We stretched up. We had our H pattern. We stretched up and rolled over. We had a 2 standard deviation move today, right? Pressing down to that 2837 level, and we've taken a bounce, right? The 0.236 level, which is what this, not what I wanted to do, which is, let me just take that out, which is what this yellow line right here is. It's the hesitation. 236 is hesitation. So we came in, we bounced off, and we got a little bit of strength in there today, right? The question really comes down to what do we see happening on some of the positions out there. When we look at the change, sort by change, we're down 73 points on the NASDAQ. We're down about 10 on the S&P, and the Dow is down 36 points. We look at who's getting crushed. Don't think my heart bleeds for Tesla, because it doesn't, because we've got a bearish position on Tesla right now. We're actually knocking it out of the park on Tesla. Not a trade I would take today, guys. So before you ask the question, on Tesla, we're already up $3,000 from the 9th, and we've got 1 contract left. We got in at 242 is our entry price, and right now they're at 204. So we're almost a $40 move right now into our position, which again, you really can't complain. It's certainly better than a stick in the eye, right? So I'm excited about the move there. Baidu is the one that seems to be getting hit the hardest, right? They're down about 10 points. That was gap down on them. Well, Karen, the first one, let me see the second part of the question. Sorry, I didn't see that. Yeah, so there's no entry at this point, Karen, you're right. So we would need some kind of setup to happen again for you to take the trade. Tesla already had its setup. So when we look, I did an update here for this morning already. We look at Tesla, and where was our entry? What date? I don't remember. The entry was on the 9th at 242. So let's get moving averages back up in there. So at the 9th, right? So we closed, guys, look at the, right? So let me do it this way. Oh, there, we get a nice zoom on that. Okay. Perfect. So the 9th is where? That's the 8th. So if this was our entry day, right? What would my note have been here? what would we have said at that point? When we were setting this up, right? That red arrow hadn't happened yet. We're setting this up. Well, but forget about, you know what? Don't even think about the note for a second. Talk to me about the positioning of the candle. Is it good? Is it bad? If it's good, what do you like about it? If it's bad, what don't you like about it? You tell me what you're seeing. All right, so I'm getting a couple of different answers. I'm just reading through them. So Robbie said, it looks like it's going to drop. Yep, I agree. I'm looking for the why. Does it just feel like it's going to drop, or why does it feel like it's going to drop? Why do you believe it's going to drop? What's the thought process there? So William said consolidation of the fib and the EMA. Good, I like it. Below the hesitation line. That was Brenda, good. Broke resistance and closed below. Okay, so it was up above it, now came back down. It's now below that resistance area, broke support. Pull back to on the 8th. Yeah, I like that also, Larry. Next to the 0 line, close to the 8. It's following a doji, Diane said. Simple change of direction. Touched back to the 8 and went down. I'm looking for one word. I'm looking to read one word. You guys have hit on it. Someone has said it already. It begins with a C. There you go, William. So I don't remember who, but I had read it already, something up there about the 8 and the moving average. And I just don't remember who it was, guys. And there's like 5 pages of notes already now, so I can't see it. So confluence is the word I'm looking for. There was a confluence of the 8 and the fib line. That was number 1. Well, Rob, they're not exactly on top of each other. You know what? You're right, they're not. The fib line, I can't get the exact number there without doing this, 246.5, we'll call it. The moving average was at 248. So we're not exactly on it, guys, but this is not a $10 stock. So to be $1, $2, $3 off is not that far away for a $250 stock. But we have a confluence there. That's number 1. Number 2, we closed below it after gapping up, failing, right? Gapping up one more time, or actually, no, we got down a little bit. We stretched up on this day on the 8th and failed and closed below. Now it's kind of like, all right, what are we looking at next? So now my note would be bearish below X, whatever X was that I gave that note in the workshop, in the power option plays. Take this bearish trade if this happens. Guys, all that meant for you is this. That meant that you would have to go in, preferably in your practice platform, and set an order up that said, if Tesla gets below X, whatever number we put in for Tesla, if it gets to that number or lower, buy this put option. And the options are straightforward. We look for a month of time, 65 to 85 delta, 100 open interest. Nothing crazy, nutty, silly out there. Guys, the notes are there for you. It's given to you. Let me see something here. Let me move something around. So this was the 8th. We entered the trade on the 9th, right? Let's see. So the note said bearish below 243.5 aggressive. Well, bearish below 243.5 aggressive, which means we only took 4 contracts. So I told you, if the stock gets to 243.5, take the dang trade. Guys, there's not a lot of thinking going on here. Thank you, William. William had just confirmed the same thing for me. He said on pop, it said below 243.5. Thank you. I appreciate you looking at that for me. All right, guys, we had the confluence. We had the break of what was support now is resistance at 236, which is a hesitation point. And from there, we gapped down. So we didn't get filled at where I would have liked to have gotten filled. We got filled a little bit higher. I mean, a little bit lower. So we got in about 242-ish. Okay. So there we go. No, right there. 242 is where we entered the trade. And we just round. We don't do exact numbers. We just round. No, Brenda, there's no pop scan. All of these, every one of these candidates, Brenda, that are on here right now, all fit a pattern. They all fit part of my two-pronged system, which is either A, swing trade, which is what Tesla was or is, or B, a day trade. It fits into one of those two models in there, right? So, and everything is done based on confluences, positioning, percentages, a very specific rules-based system for someone to take advantage of. All right, let me pull that up and out of the way. Ooh, I like that. We're in a Netflix trade, so that was a nice little move. Sorry, let me go back to Tesla. So let's go and keep going. Right? It pushed down, boom, chakalaka-laka. Right there, we took our exit. Right? Our first exit was right there on Tesla. Beautiful. Boom! There's our second exit. Guys, we're in the trade at 242. We get out of some of it around 231, 232, whatever the number was. We get out of some more of it around 215 or so, and we still have one contract left. Kick tail on this trade. Right? I think we're pretty close to it, right? Oh, and then today we gap down yet again. Just wonderful setup for us on Tesla. Right? So all of this because we were just looking at who was down the most today. Right? Netflix is down, not a lot, $3. It's okay, I'll take it. Definitely hit our target. Amazon is a day trade. Very cool. But Baidu of all of them is the one that had the biggest move down. There was a big gap on Baidu. Who do we have that's up today? Chipotle Mexican Grill. We have a trade on them too. Chipotle is up $6. See, guys, the market is crashing down and we're trading bullish trades. We got in at 707 on the 14th. So let's go look at Chipotle. We got in right here. Right? Our first exit came in about $1 below that 715.5-ish level. Our second target is 731. We hit a high so far throughout the day, maybe higher yet, of about 727. So, guys, you can trade bullish and bearish at the same time while the market's crashing down, all by finding the right candidates. But this is one of the three open trades we have right now is Chipotle. Right? We only took one exit so far. But remember, Chipotle is sitting right now at 723. Is the price of Chipotle. We got it at 707. Yowza. Let's see. So William said, what's the plan to exit Tesla at this point? Doing the trailing stop, there have been clear and concise entries. So on the exit, William, for that trade, the way we do it in power option plays is we allow it to violate the 5 EMA on the close for our exit. But some of the stuff we taught live in the Power Option Plays Live workshop we did, which is on the video series, we talk about other ways of managing it, like those trailing stops, William, and so forth, where you're not giving all of this back up to before you get taken out of the trade. Let's see. Larry said there have been clear and concise entries today as a day trade. Oh, Larry, I was answering something from William. Sorry about that. So there have been clear and concise entries on Chipotle as a day trade. All right. There have been clear and concise entries for today as a day trade. Yeah, so the same way we taught it there, Larry, right? Same way we taught it in class and Pop Live, right? For Chipotle. Oh yeah, look at the wonderful setups, guys. I mean, great move up, good pullback in there, retests again. We've had good moves, and then, you know, we ran out of steam right about 10:40. And for those of you that know of what's called the power hour trade, right? Highs and lows of that first hour of the morning. Yeah, there we go. Right now we're just kind of range bound, stuck in there ever since that first hour. But we definitely have had some entries come in there. So we're talking about, let's go to 719 or so was the entry. You had a potential all the way up to 727-ish. So about $8 move in an hour, give or take. So absolutely spot on, Larry. There definitely were some intraday setups on CMG Chipotle. We already have a swing trade on it. I personally tend to not trade into the same position again. This way, I don't want my emotional state. I'm already up some money, right? Paper money, but I'm already up some money in my trade. I don't want that emotional state to say, oh, wait a second, you know, this can't go down. Let me do more. So I tend to not do it again. But if you were not in a trade on this, you absolutely could have done that. So Brendan said, Rob, how do I do this in a small account? And what Brenda's referring to is what we do here in Power Option Plays. So Brenda, here's the thing you've got to look at, right? When you look at, guys, when you look at the stocks that we choose, right, that we have on our list, just going to widen this up a little bit, right? I'm going to sort them by the closing price, okay? Which will put the VIX on the top and the S&P on the very bottom. You've got, you know, when we look at big price stocks, what does big price stocks mean? To me, that $1,000+ you're looking at 3 of those, right? Between Google, Booking, and Amazon, right? Big price stocks. When you look at high price stocks, higher priced stocks, you're really looking at Netflix and Chipotle, right? Then more of the normal range would be somewhere between that $100 level to that 200 and change level, right? 250-ish, 280. So Costco, you know, all of those guys, they've got the low price stuff like Square, Valero, and Swords, right? So the very first thing, Brenda, is picking a range that you're comfortable with in there, right? Now, some of you may sit there and say, well, Rob, I like Amazon. I want to trade Amazon. Guys, you still can. Amelia proves to me every single week, every week, she takes pop candidates, and she's done this with some of you on one-on-one calls, where she has shown you that she goes out there and she sells a credit spread on those candidates based on the pattern doing what it said. So when Larry said that today we had a clear and concise entry on Chipotle, right? You may have looked at this and said, okay, the options are too expensive, so what do? I don't want to spend that kind of money on the options. Well, there are credit spreads that you can do, bull put bear call spreads you could do for this week, and many of them, Brenda, Amelia is in and out not only the same day We're talking about within the same hour time frame. What do I mean by that? You know, she gets in by 9:40 and she's out before 10:30, you know, 10:40. Within an hour, she's in and out of that trade. Now, that's not always, right? But there are so many different ways you could trade this. You could not trade the big guns. You could forget about the Amazon, Google, and the Pricelines of the world, the bookings, right? And focus on more of the average stocks, the Apples and so forth. And you could do them even from the perspective of day trade, right? If we went to Apple, and you decided, now remember, it's Monday, right? So we've got a full week of time left in the options for Apple. Let's go find that delta of 65 to 85. Got a 64. I'd probably be inclined to do 64 versus 74 for that 1 point, or wait a couple of seconds. There you go. It went to 65. All right. So you're looking at spending $4.68. One contract, Brenda, $468. Right. So it can be done on a day trading basis without going after the Amazons, the Googles, and the Pricelines. Now, would you have had as big a return on your money? You know, we took 200 and actually, I think this was 189 is what we used to start this year, 189,000. We took $189,000 and made 500,000 on top of it, which means the account has grown to almost $700,000, right, from the 189 that it was. With that being said, you don't do the Googles, the Pricelines, and the Amazons. You don't need 189. You don't do 10 contracts, you do one. You don't need anywhere near $89,000. You don't need $50,000. You don't need 30, you don't need $10,000 if you're doing smaller numbers. So there are definitely things to do. Let me ask this question. Those of you that are in power option, well, I'm not even going to ask it that way. What if I made, for the power option plays, what if I made a bonus video for POP, for power option plays, and I showed you how to take some of the same things we do in POP and how to utilize spreads for them instead of just going directional buying calls and puts? One for yes, two for no, if that would be something that would be helpful. Okay, beautiful. Wow, a lot of you. All right, cool. I will. I'll do a video on that. Now, those of you that are in the mastermind group, the live mastermind group, we have at our next live workshop we're doing, which is early on in June, spreads is what we're going to be covering there, right? Because the mastermind group is all about cash flow. Guys, we haven't really promoted it. We've talked about it at the live mastermind group, just with health issues for myself and what I'm dealing with my mom, my dad, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. I haven't had the time to focus on it, but we've got the online mastermind group coming up, right? Guys, it's all about cash flow. It's forgetting about what you think you know and getting down to cash flow strategies, right? And that's every single one of those sessions, with the exception of the first two, which are all prep. Every one of the 10 additional sessions are all about cash flow, all about cash flow, right? So I want you guys that are not in that mastermind group, the live one, to start looking at what it takes for you guys to make it into the online version of that. Yeah, the online, so Larry, the online is going to be open to, we're going to keep it to a smaller number because there will be things such as one-on-one consults. There will be some things like one-on-one consults that come with it, right? Just like we did with the live mastermind group that we do here in New York. But yes, it will be open to everyone. You guys will start hearing about it. You'll start seeing, I know Amelia's got a list. Her and I, once I get through some of this junk with family of what we're dealing with, just dad, father-in-law, all that good stuff. Once you get through some of this stuff, then this will become the main focal point. Because my goal for 2019 is to see 10 people be able to retire, not because they've worked 40, 50 years of their life, but to see 10 people be able to retire because of what they've gotten in the market, right? And I believe that the masterminds will be the places for this to happen. Yeah, William said Amelia does good on the spread alerts for the trades. Absolutely, she does phenomenal with that stuff. So Robbie said, Rob, can you buy and sell a call to reduce your cost basis? We get back to that spread then, Robbie. So absolutely. That's exactly what it is. It's dealing with the spread. Yes, Amelia, one of those are you. You're already retired. Amelia, Cindy's asking, is Amelia part of our customer service? Amelia heads up everything that has to do with customers, the customer experience, the sales, all of that stuff. She's part of all of that, Cindy. So any questions that you have for us, and when you send them to support@wealthbuildershq.com, she gets all of that and then disseminates it where it has to go to the rest of our team. We've got now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people on our team right now in total, and she divvies it up, and whatever has to get done, she takes care of that, making sure everybody gets their hands on. 7 people. 7. Right, so Amelia is Wealth Builders. You're right, Larry. She's a huge component of it. Thank goodness for her. Thank God. Forget goodness. Thank God for Amelia. Let me just see. Yeah, Trade Watch alerts are awesome, William. You're right. They're great. When we're getting our next mastermind group started, it would be open to all of us online. So I answered that. So Robbie said, can you show us to reduce to $408 a month? Well, reduce 480 months to 48 months then. Robbie, I have seen students with $500 do it in 6 months. So it's not that it can't be done. All right. Amelia, did you see the message up there from Cindy that she's asking you to give her a call? She put her number up in there for you. So you can do this, Robbie. It doesn't have to even go to 48 months, right? For most people, if they follow a system and a plan, you can learn to do it in 2 years. Right? You can do it in 2 years. But it's a commitment, guys. It's not, see, here's the problem. Here's the problem. I go ahead and I lay a strategy out and I say, here's the way that you trade this. And then everybody expects that they're an expert, or I shouldn't say everybody, but people expect to be an expert immediately at it without ever doing any. Guys, when I tell you I did 300 paper trades, 300, before I ever put 1 penny of real money into the market. 300, and I did them in a month and a half. Rob, that's crazy. I know. Tell me about it. But I don't know how to do anything other than all full bore, right? Hyper focused on what was important to me. That was it, right? Now, different marketplace in 1997, easier to work with, easier to get through, easier to be right. The bulls were definitely in control. This marketplace is just a little bit different. So it takes a lot more skill today to do it than it did back then. And it is what it is. But it is not an overnight success. Someone will come into power option plays and said, well, I did a quarter, I didn't really get this. Well, you're not going to. I mean, Charles, how long are you in power option plays now? Right, so Roman said focus is like a drill bit, right? Very much to a fine point. Exactly, Roman, I agree. Very, very much. I'm not sure if Charles is still here. Let's see. So Charles is part of our mastermind group. He came to the live workshop. Oh, there he is. Grasshopper had to be very patient. Yeah, well, that's okay. But how long are you part of POP now, Charles? Guys, Charles came to and students will tell you this because they were there with us, with us when he said this. He came to the Mastermind Live group, and then he's part of our, he's part of the Mastermind Live group, and he came to the Power Option Plays Live workshop. And Charles has been killing it with Covered Call Explorer. And now he's actually saying that he's doing better even on power option plays, right? Because he never really had focused on it. But guys, you don't pick this up in a day and say, now I learned this, or in a quarter even for many people, now I've got it. Okay, so Charles said he's been in since we started it back up, all right? It takes time to get it. Charles was the one that sent me an email that said, Rob, I'm right on the cusp. I can feel it. I'm on the edge. I'm ready to go over. I just need that push, which is what the mastermind group was for. All right, awesome, Jeff said, just sent an email to Amelia about the mastermind group. That is awesome. You're going to love it, Jeff. You're going to love it. Because, guys, what we do, what we did the one strategy we did last month was March. In March, we did covered calls was our first strategy we did. Covered calls, spreads, diagonals, that type of stuff. All the rules, all the details, everything that I do, everything, how I trade them, all of the little nuances to it, all of that great stuff, right? And in the last, month and a half, 2 months, we've had this wacky market. We've had 3 candidates, 3 that we have absolutely crushed it with, right? Just following that simple system. And some of them, you didn't lay out $2 out of your pocket. Brendan said, I've been at this for 12 years, still need a lot of help. I know it takes commitment, and now that I'm retiring, I'll have the time to put forth my, it moved? Okay, there we go. My undivided attention to becoming a skilled trader. There you go, Brendan. And things like mastermind group and so forth, Pop, they all help aiding you in that. Let's see. So, Brendan, the mastermind group, we meet 12 times a year. The mastermind live, we meet 4 times a year live in New York and do a full day workshop in New York, right? Which means you guys fly in on a Thursday or drive in on a Friday morning. We teach in the New York office. We go have dinner afterwards. If you can hang out, if not, no worries. You're welcome to leave and get to the airport Friday night. But we go get dinner and have a great time, right? And then from there, so there were 2 months of prep getting into that first training workshop, right? So the first 2 months were prep. There was prep even before that with calls, with a phone call with me, 1 hour phone call with me. And then from there, we go through, and each month we go through different scenarios of the strategies that we teach. So this month in the online workshop, which is the 30th, I think, 28th, I forget, whenever the mastermind group is live, we're going to be going over diagonal spreads, all the little nuances, because now you learned them. I expect you to practice them, Brenda. So by the time we get to the next workshops, you're asking the questions because you did the trades. That right there is the key. That's the true meaning of that mastermind group, right? Working in coordination together with each other. There you go. Charles said he's trying to decide if he's going to retire this year or next year. Robbie said going to do bonus videos on trade alerts you mentioned before. I don't remember that, Robbie. Sorry, because we've got all those cliff notes in there purposely. So all the notes are there for the trades. So I think if that might be what you're referring to on TWA, on TradeWatch Alerts. And Charles said, here we go, guys. Charles said he's going to look to retire either this year, possibly next year, right? And then 2 or 3 lines down, he said, trading with you is what's making it possible. Guys, he's in the mastermind group. He's in power option plays. He's in covered call explorer. He's in, you get it, guys? Charles is following a process, and Charles works a full-time job. And Charles, you're not sitting at a computer all day long, right? You're out in an airplane fixing planes. Right? So guys, you can do this stuff. Charles typed in correct, just so you guys know. Larry said, how do I keep my trading journal? So guys, on one computer, I have a separate version of Trade Navigator, the same one that I have, I just save it on a different computer. So I have 2 subscriptions to it. And I track everything right on the screen, all of my orders and everything right in there. Everything else is done on Excel spreadsheets. So the reason I do it on the notes is, remember we were flipping back and forth, looking at Trade Navigator for Tesla. Then I was bringing the tracking sheet up, right? And then I'd go back to the chart. And, well, I put the notes right on here. right? And I would say, instead of note to enter, it was bearish below, I think we said 243. I think is what the number was. Might have been 42, I'm not sure. I think it was 43 and we got in at 42. Yeah, that's what it was. It's 43, below 43, got in at 42. So I'll put the note, and it's Becklow, bearish Becklow. That's what happens when you're a two-finger typer. Never learned how to type in school. So I look at the keyboard, not the screen. Right, bearish below 243. And so I record it right on there, Larry, for visual effect, so I know where and why. But then I also go ahead and track it on spreadsheets. And I have a different spreadsheet for each of the versions of what I do. In with the Trading You Academy, we have a spreadsheet for buying calls and buying puts that you can track with. Right? So, but I do them on Excel because I don't want to do the math. I want it to do it for me. Right? So I do it for an annual basis, which is how I file the taxes. Do it on an annual basis. So then next year, I'll take anything that's still open, I'll roll it forward into a new cost basis and, you know, just start all over again from there. I'm working on that with Amelia right now, Robbie. As soon as I get past some of this stuff with my dad, Amelia and I will be jumping on it. All right, guys, we didn't get a whole lot of time to look at candidates today. Go ahead and throw a couple at me. I'll do the best I can to get them up here for you as quick as possible. AMD, love AMD, William. Love, love, love AMD. But Rob, that's a horrible looking pattern. It depends what you're trying to do with it. Right? For what I trade with it, it is awesome. Right? So AMD right now is in a neutral bias. So, you know, cash flow strategies are great for that. We had a gap down, a little bit move up. So it would not have been one. We had this on Covered Call Explorer. Would not have been an entry today. We need to get back above the 8 for the entry on it. Unless you were managing the trade inside of this rectangle and you took the bounce off of that low point today, then maybe. Yeah, and Charles typed it in. AMD is great for covered calls. Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of it. Guys, at the next Mastermind Live online workshop we do, I'm going to give you a handful of some very high quality covered calls that are very big premium payers and have nice chart patterns to them overall. Let's see, Micron, MU. Yeah, Tripp's not here today, I don't think. So William's just taking one for the team and putting Micron in there, MU. So, woo, goodness gracious. All right, so we're down at the 618 for our very first test. So look for the bounce off that 34.35 level. 36 and 38 are the two targets, and we will have a confluence of the 8 or pretty close to it if we do bounce over the next week or so. The 8 will move back up to that 382 level. Yeah, PK said it isn't the same without Trip. I know. There you go. Williams recognizing pattern, saying broken triangle. There you go. Right, there's the wedge. Right? Or the triangle. Leeds is asking for wicks. WIX, wicks. Whew. Okay, so they just had earnings come out. Gap, they had gap down, move back up. They're in this kind of sideways pin between 8 and 21. Leeds, I want to see this one get back above the 8, close above the 8 before doing anything with it. Cisco, the tech one, not the supermarket one. Give me a pullback. Who is Cisco there? William, I want to pull back to the 8, close near the 8, bounce off of the 8 to take the bullish trade. Keep something in mind. The one thing we have on Cisco, we haven't had a lot of this happen lately, but we're near a recent swing high. So that 57.5 level is going to be critical to get through. Brenda's asking for the Qs, the Q and Q. right? So we took a gap down. We're in bearish territory, not true bear, but enough to take a bear. If we move up to the 55, Brenda, which is the brown line, and we roll over at that point, if we can get that rollover, I'd be looking for the bearish trade back down to about, well, about where its low was today, about 179.5 and then 177.5. But if we get that, if we get the move back up, the 8 will be near the 55 by the time it gets there over the next day or two. Brenda's also asking for NVIDIA. No, I just want to check it. Oh, they just had earnings. Okay. So let's get a bigger picture. All right, NVIDIA's in bearish territory again. Let's see. All right, so it violated the 236, which is the hesitation point. You got to see what it does here, guys. It played around it yesterday, Friday, today. It just played around that 154 quarter level, right? The question is it going to move up or not? Brenda, I would actually like to see it go down a little bit, come back up to the 154 and fail as the 8 gets closer to it. It's just that stronger confluence gives me a better gut feel for, yes, I want to take this trade. Zenga, lead said ZNGA. All right, so they are rocking, guys. They rose from a whopping $3.50-ish to 6.25. So great move. We had that rising 3 type candle, kind of ish, almost a little bit, right? In here, nice move, nice move. I love the stair steps. Move up, right? Move up, fail and test. Move up, fail and test. Bounce. Everything is a bounce, right? So today was a great day for leads, but it's a low price stock. Yeah, this is Zenga. Avago, Larry's asking for. Hero, as Scooby-Doo would say, Hero. Woo! Not even on earnings, unless the earnings are off on here, but nasty. Goodness gracious, closed about 290 and opened up at about 278. Yuckadoo, right? So, let's get a fib drawn on here. So we're sitting at the 764 level, which is a hesitation point. Those of you that are in Monster Market Movers, add this to your list for a potential Fibonacci 4-step. Great, guys, great potential too at 274 to 283. Really nice trade setup in there. But make sure you follow the rules. All 4 steps, make sure you follow them. Let's see, there's a Vago. Just trying to see where we're at, guys. SNPS leads is asking for. So earnings coming out. Yeah, be careful, guys, with the earnings coming out. Overall bullish pattern. Get back above the 8 for the bullish trade, but we've got to wait on this one until the earnings are out. Big airplane. Really, Charles? You're the one that types in Boeing, big airplane? The airplane guy. Okay. So Boeing had, had its gap down, guys, on bad news, continued to fall, and some of the rest of the market did. We've got a good confluence of the 8 and the 618 level on the fib. If we get the rollover, Charles, we're looking at 329 and 300 on the downside targets. Lots of money potential on this one. Karen asked for MasterCard. I love the pattern, Karen. I mean, just strong. People are spending money. They're putting money on a credit card. It doesn't matter that they can't afford to pay their bills. They're putting it on a credit card, right? Good, strong move up. Today was a good day for the bullish entry. once again, Karen, just like I said, I don't remember the stock, but I said it before, what most people don't focus on is that recent swing high, 257.43. Higher highs, higher lows. You got to be careful of that. And if it breaks that 257 level, then we could talk some serious potential of where it goes, right? Because that's all-time highs on MasterCard, right? So if it does, and guys, I'm not going to explain the how on this one right now. I'm so used to TradeStation, I don't even see it half the time anymore. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. All right, so we'd be looking at, if it does break the high of 57, we'd be looking at a new high of 65.5 is what our next target would be for MasterCard. Z or Zillow. Who'd this come from? William. Okay, so William asked, can we draw a fib on it? Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it, William? I mean, let's see. We got this move down and back up. And then this gap kind of flowing through. So William, I would be drawing it here off of that swing high down to that swing low. Is where I would be. Okay. Guys, if you draw your fibs and they look different than mine, you need to make sure you're reading our emails, guys. If you draw the fibs and they don't fit in the same places, the pattern is different or the price points are different. I just did a video yesterday, and Sean is getting it set up. He's working with Amelia, getting it posted somewhere on the site, trying to figure out where we're going to put it. Maybe a resource section on Trade Navigator tips or something. But I show you how to go ahead and fix it. Amos and one other had sent an email within the last week on my fibs looking different than theirs. So we fixed that there with that one piece. So if yours is different, keep your eye open for that email with that video in it. Let's see, Brenda said ZM. Yeah, don't know how to even handle this one, Brenda, because it's so brand new. Oh, Zoom video. Yeah, it's an IPO. So I'm going to pass on it because I have no way of even guessing. And PIN, PIN. So what I learned about companies like PIN, not my name. So I'm just going to tell you right now, don't be a hater. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I was told about this type of a pattern or what it was called. All right. And the way that my coach, my mentor, who was much older than I, when Vaskin passed away, he was probably close to 70. My mentor called this not quite chop, chop, chop. Okay. My mentor called this grandma's teeth. You know, teeth, your teeth in your mouth. Well, the problem was there were too many teeth missing. All these white spaces in there, right? Teeth missing. When you see this, just walk away from it, guys. More than likely, this is a company. Oh, PowerShares India. Okay, so the stock opens up in India and trades, and then when it finally opens in the U.S. has to gap to get to that price. It's not a very good choice of candidate there. So I don't even want to give you answers on it because I have nothing to. And look at the scaling. I mean, this gap went from 24.25 to 25.25. That big move was $1. Robbie said, Rob, I see when most of the time when the 8 crosses the 55, we can trade in that direction for a swing trade. We can go to hold in that direction for a week or so. Any thoughts? I don't measure the 8 crossing 55. I look more at 821, Robbie. But to me, it's about bullish, which is being either true bull or true bear, or not true bull or true bear, right? So are the moving averages in the right order? That's the biggest one. I'd rather have the 821 cross. The 855 is an early warning system. Leads is asking for HRC. Let's see, good strong move up. So let's go and draw a fib. In here, okay. So let's go back over to template number 2 where we've got moving averages. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see the Fibonacci level, the 96.91 level, and the 8 have a confluence. But if we can get a pushback up to the 8, a fail back below the 97, a retest of the 97, and a fail, meaning move up, right? Come on down, retest, roll over at that 97 level. 94 and 91.5 are the 2 downside targets. Like it a lot. So Williams said HRC has horrible options. Yep, it very well might. Hildenbrand Industries. PK. So on a side note, a gardening question, I use worm castings. PK, I do not use anything Miracle-Gro. If the words Miracle-Gro are in it, just walk the other way. Home Depot has become a traitor to the American public as far as I'm concerned. And Lowe's too, with having mostly Miracle-Gro as the chemicals, the soils that they sell. Miracle-Gro, just stay away from that stuff, guys. It's a miracle you'll ever grow at all if you're eating that stuff. But I use worm castings and I make worm tea. I also use rock dust 1 time a year. Good. Yeah, there you go. If you can find a horse, someone that has horses, especially organic. I have an organic horse farm, not, well, it's about an hour from me. But I head out on my trailer. It's not like they don't have it. It's been sitting there for years. Get the age stuff so you don't need to age it. And it works wonders in the garden, right? Worm castings, Brenda, to be very blunt, is worm poop. The absolute best thing you'll ever put in your garden is worm castings. Cool. So guys, I kept you a few extra minutes there today. Sorry about that. Just, guys, I need a focal point. We're getting on to the beginning of the 6th month of the year, the halfway mark of the year. We're at about $500,000 profit after the first 5 months in power option plays. I really need you to get a focal point of where you are and where you want to be. And if you have not figured this out on your own yet, up to this point, then you need some help. All right? I can tell you right now that there are things that we do here, guys, as a company that can help you. Yes, we have power option plays. Yes, we have E-minis and Covered Call Explorer and Mastermind and Monster Market Movers and all that stuff. But the Mastermind group is a tremendous part of it. We've already had multiple people multiple of our students go ahead and enroll, which we haven't even put on the website, guys, and I'm filled up for almost a whole year already for one-on-one with Rob, with 1 full day sitting with me in my office and Amelia sitting in my office in New York, learning, teaching you whether it's stocks or futures, whatever it is you want to go through. And we've recently had people that haven't even taken their first one inquire about adding a second one right behind it. One gentleman wants to come 3 weeks later for his second one. All right? There are things we can do to help hold your hand and get you there. You have to figure out what you want to do. And yes, it's a commitment. And yes, I'm asking you to take a leap of faith. And yes, it's going to cost some money. It does, right? For all of them. Time, money, every bit of it, right? But if you want to do this, I can help you do it. When I went to my very first 2-day workshop in March of 1997, and the instructor said, you need this, right? I said, okay. And whatever he told me to do, I did. And 6 months later, I was able to quit that lousy, stinking job. All right? Because of what he told me to do. I want to do the same thing for you guys. But you just got to follow with blind faith. Thanks for the prayers, Lawrence. I appreciate it. Hey, Charles, you have a good one as well. Yeah, Robert said Judy has plenty of horse manure if you want to pick it up, guys. She's been more than happy to give it to you. PK said, how many hours a day do you think we need to be investing? PK, once you learn this, you're not even spending an hour a day. Not even spending an hour a day doing this. Most of it can be done from your phone or tablet, mobile device. You don't have to be sitting there at all, right? In the beginning, it's a matter of how much time can you afford. Can you give me 8 hours a week for education? That's 2 hours a day, Friday off, right? Or however you want to break it up, an hour and ish, you know, a day if you count Friday, and an hour a day if you count the weekends. How much time can you afford to put to it? You know, not really more than 10 or 12 hours a week. It's too much for education, right? But I need you to be hyper focused, and I need you to follow directions explicitly without questioning it. But you're paper trading it, guys. You just have to do it. You have to do it. I can get you there, PK. There's no question I can. I've not met a person that was not intelligent enough to learn how to do this, ever. I've taught 9-year-olds how to do it. He's now 17 and knocking the doors down with it. Yeah, so Robbie's saying that he's already part of Power Option Plays, Monster Market Movers. He's going into the mastermind. Is the E-mini a good thing as well? Guys, we have something called Total Access Trading, which is Power Option Plays, E-mini Think Tank, Covered Call Explorer, and Monster Market Movers. Gives you a nice discount for all of those. We have multiple people that take all of them, guys, and that's because you never realize as market conditions change the things you can learn and pick up in Covered Call Explorer that will help you in your futures trading, or in your futures trading that will help you as an options trader in Monster Market Movers. So yes, Robbie, I do encourage everyone to look at that. Well, Demetrius, that's who I'm talking about, is Grant, my 9-year-old with Trading the YM. Guy's killing it. He's an awesome trader. He's an awesome trader. Awesome. Okay. That text message was the insurance guy telling me to check my email for my dad's stuff. So that's good. I'm glad that came through. Larry said, will you be presented? Will you present anything to direct us into setting up an entity or a business? You know, I can probably do some basic training on entities. Just writing a note. Yeah, I can do something on that, Larry. All right, cool. Guys, with that, I'm going to let you go. You have a wonderful and glorious day. Hey, inside of the notes box, Amelia dropped in a link for Power Option Plays. Guys, there is a 2-week trial on it. If you've not taken it before, take advantage of it. If you have, do not, because you will be charged the full price for it if you're thinking you're trying to get another trial for free. So just be careful there, all right? The system catches it in about 2 or 3 days. It picks it up. So with that, you have a wonderful and glorious day. 103 3/4 leads mamas. Wow, congratulations. That's awesome. All right, guys, see you all soon. Take care. Bye.